self-serving, persuasive talkers
of everything and nothing.
We are Conversation Con Artists. What's going on, people? It's your boy, Mr. On Point.
And I am Calamity Red.
We're Conversation Con Artists back for another episode. I need y'all to go check out the website, www.conversationconartists.com, where you can check out our new stories and the episode link to it, as well as old episodes. And you can leave us some feedback. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. MISTER_on-point.
And I can be found at Red_Calamity. This will be the listener letter portion of the show. So if you have a question that you would like for us to answer on the show, you can send it into the website, or you can send it into our Gmail account, which is conversationconartist with an S at gmail.com. Do you want to start with a heavy question or a lighthearted question?
Lighthearted.
So what are 3 things you remember about kindergarten?
Kindergarten. I remember my teacher's name was Miss Skinner.
I had Miss Moe.
She had big hair.
Miss Moe was a skinny white lady.
She looked like an old racist white lady, which back in the early 90s, late 80s,
yeah,
she probably was. I mean, because old people today racist. So I'm not gonna say all old people are not racist.
No,
but
they're not. Some of them are though.
But like, it ain't like it was better back then. The odds weren't better back then of her not being racist.
Yes.
You know, but she just looked like she looked like old Dolly Parton looking ass something. Like, I don't know, but my grandma was also a kindergarten teacher at that school at the time.
But they wouldn't let you be in her class.
I think she was
retired,
retired, actually. I think she had just retired when me and my brother started going into the school. Mm-hmm. But she still came to the school to do stuff. I think she had a big role in the school, so she came to my classroom sometime, and she had to treat me like I want her grandkid or something like that. I don't know if she had to or if she just did, but I don't know.
I remember we read Green Eggs and Ham, Dr. Seuss, and...
Did you say Seuss or Zeus? I mean, I know it's supposed to be Seuss, but it sounded like you said Zeus.
Maybe I did. Seuss.
Well, it's recorded now, so either I'm wrong or you right.
We read Green Eggs and Ham by Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, you definitely said Zeus.
I said Zeus?
Either you said Zeus or you said a mixture between Seuss and Zeus.
Anyhow, after we read it, like, we came in the next day, or obviously we did. After she read it to us, we came in the next day, and she had green eggs and ham, which was so fucking amazing. Like, now as an adult, obviously I know that she just, like, made green eggs, or made eggs and ham and, like, used green food coloring to turn it green. But that shit blew our fucking mind. I was so excited. And I was so excited to go home and be like, Mom, we ate green eggs and ham. She actually had green eggs and ham. Like, from Sam I Am.
So she bought enough eggs and ham for everybody to eat.
I mean, we got a little bit of egg and a little bit of ham. It wasn't like a full breakfast type shit. But she bought enough for everybody to get some, yeah. We thought that shit, let me not say we. I thought that shit was amazing. I can't speak for my classmates, but my mind was blown because I was like, oh my God, it's just like in the book. So I remember that vividly because it was kind of awesome.
We did this thing called Celery C's. Like, we would go down all the letters of the alphabet, and when we got to C, we did celery.
Celery is straight up and down.
Well, when you cut it, like if you cut the end of it, it's shaped like a C.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah, you cut the end of it.
I was thinking of stalks, but yeah, chopped up celery does look like a C.
And we dipped them in peanut butter. I like celery. Celery is delicious.
Well, we didn't do celery seeds, but we did ants on a log, and so we took celery and put some peanut butter in the little crevice, and then we put raisins on top, and they were the ants, and we ate ants.
That's
on a
horrible.
log. Why is it horrible?
I mean, would you call it cockroaches on a stick?
That's disgusting.
But like, it's the same concept. You could call it anything with a dark bugged creature.
No, cockroaches have a different connotation than ants.
A different kind of what?
Connotation. Cockroaches are like gross and dirty and disgusting.
What about beetles?
People eat beetles. I wouldn't eat a beetle, but you know.
Would you eat beetles on a log?
I would eat actual ants. either, but it wasn't ants. It was raisins.
I wouldn't eat some shit that I know is raisins and peanut butter and celery if you call it fucking bugs on the log.
You would if you were a kid.
I did a lot of dumbass shit when I was a kid.
Okay.
I almost choked on a fucking fish bone in the lunchroom. I didn't even know they supposed to have fish.
They're not
They
supposed to have bones in
fish. Nigga, I almost died in there.
They were not supposed
Nobody
to
even helped me.
have
I was
bones.
clearly having a fucking
'Cause
situation.
that's why they had them little patty, the little fish sticks, and they ain't supposed to have no damn
We had real
stones in
nigga
'em.
fish. We had real nigga fish out
That's
here in school.
hilarious.
And I
What
almost
else?
died from a bone. We did. We dipped bananas in Kool-Aid.
Now that sounds disgusting.
I hadn't done it since I was a kid, but yeah, it was delicious. I remember it being delicious.
I feel like if you did it now,
I think it would be because I love bananas and I love Kool-Aid.
Like,
Like, how do
I
you
hate
fuck
when
it up?
people say that. Just because you like two things don't mean you would like them together. That doesn't mean that they go good together because you like Kool-Aid individually and bananas individually. That don't mean you can put them together.
But that don't mean that you can't.
I mean, I
See,
guess.
you know what I'm saying?
It
Like,
sound gross.
you can like two different flavors of ice cream, put them hoes together. You can't.
No, I
because
cannot.
You fucked up with that shit, your body. But, you know, you can put two different things together and it turn out well most of the time.
Most of the time?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, unless you take two like things that would make sense to put together.
But that don't make sense to put together to me. Kool-Aid and bananas.
I done ate bananas and drank Kool-Aid before. Like for my liquid after my banana.
I guess.
Like just because you do it at the dry phase don't mean that it can't go together. Like, but you wouldn't necessarily ever put those things together, but you would put them together sometimes they work out.
Why did y'all put it together in that context
I
anyway?
don't know. You have to go ask Miss Dolly Parton. Teacher, Skinner.
I mean, I don't remember why we made ants on a log. Probably just because kids and bugs and little kids think bugs are cool. So,
Not every little kid.
well, all of us ate it. So, wasn't nobody like, ew, it's
That's because it
ants.
was food. Y'all, it was snack time. And that's all y'all had.
But look, okay, so I don't know if I've said this before or not. My mom thought I was going to be a veterinarian for a long time because we grew up in the country. And anytime I saw a hurt anything, I wanted to save it. So, you know how like when it rains, probably if you've lived in the country, will you know this? No, because this didn't happen in my workplace. When it rains, sometimes the worms get like, I guess they get tossed up from their little in-ground things, and so they'll be like out on sidewalks and stuff. While the ants get to them, like if they don't get back in the hole in enough time, like the ants will get them. And so I would feel so bad for the little worms. So I would get the little worms. Like I would get like my mom, she had like boxes that she would keep her jewelry in. You know the little boxes that have like the joints in them that close for like, so I would get one that like had like a bracelet or something in it. And take the bracelet out and like put the worms in the little box and then put peroxide on them.
Peroxide?
Because that's what my mom put on me when I had a cut, and it helped me.
Did you kill all the worms
I
you fucked
did.
with?
I killed everything.
Damn.
And then we found this turtle, a big ass turtle, and it had, I think it got run over. Its shell was crushed at the top in the back. Now I wasn't gonna pick it up because we were scared it was gonna bite us. But I went home and got peroxide and brought it back to where the turtle was. And I poured peroxide in his shell.
You killing every damn thing with peroxide. You were too young to form a if-then hypothesis.
Yes.
If I put peroxide on these little motherfuckers, then they will die.
No, I thought it was going to help them. It's going to clean up their cuts and they're going to be better because it cleans up my cuts and I was better. And that was my logic at the time. So I killed tons of worms. I probably killed that turtle.
Placebo effect.
Killed.
Your mom would pump water in them damn peroxide bottles and it's psychological.
No, because it foams.
Foamed up.
It foams up when you put it on a cut. So, yeah, and it foamed the fuck up, especially in that turtle. I was like, oh, shit, because I poured like a lot, and it foamed up like a lot.
Foam ain't good, though.
But Again, you gotta understand that I'm using, when my mom put it on me and it foams up, it cleans out the cut, it gets better. She puts a Band-Aid on it, and I'm good to go. So in my mind, foam was good. Foam means that, okay, it's helping him. It's taking out the bacteria or whatever the fuck, and he gonna be better. And he wasn't. Turtle died. And so did all the worms. I attempted to save countless different creatures because I lived in the country, so like we came across birds, all kind of animals that I tried to save.
You turned out to be a villain with him. You turned out to be in a movie where you were the fucking, you was like you were the good guy the whole time, but you were the fucking villain. You was killing all the animals.
I was killing all the animals. All the animals. So
Dr. Kevorkian for animals.
Basically, without trying to. I was trying to save them, though. Kevorkian was trying to kill them and put them out their misery. I was trying to save them so they could go on about their life. Like, just didn't work out that way. So I was a kid that liked animals. So like ants on the log, calling it ants on the log was like cool to me. I was all right with it. But yeah, I remember learning my first address. I still remember it because, again, we were in the country. And so our roads didn't really have names. So like at first it was Route 2, Box 457. That was our address in Talladega. And then they passed this law for like the ambulances and stuff, like the emergency vehicles, where every road had to have an actual name and not be like Route 2. So it became Richardson Lane because that is my dad's family lived in that neighborhood. It was just my dad's family that down the whole road, so they just named it after them. It was Richardson Lane, and it's not my last name, but it's their last name. So
this was about the point. Like, this was me being in kindergarten was after my pops got locked up, so he wasn't there at that time, and we had moved next door to my grandparents. My granddad owned the house that was next door to them, and so a lot of my young kindergarten experiences was there, but I had a bunch of animals that died.
Why did your animals die?
Because curiosity fucked them up. Cats.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. That's why you a cat person.
We found one that was ran over in the street. One of them got shot by one of my friends. He shot the shit out of our cat. By accident.
Jeez.
Well, on purpose, but by accident.
Y'all cats were not lucky.
Thought it was a squirrel. And he shot it.
Oh, y'all cats was on their ninth life.
And it died. And she came and checked us out of school. Crying.
Your mom checked you out of school because the cat died?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess.
Let your kid be 7 years old and they pet die.
I'm not going to check them out of school. I'm going to talk to them when they get home.
She checked us out of school.
Not well. If it's like Kingston or Remy, like if it's a pet that we got like just for them that I'm not really that attached to, then I'd probably just be like, we'll just tell him when he get home. If his goldfish die, like we just explain to him when he get home. Now when Kingston or Remy dies, might be a different situation because those are my pets that I would just be sharing with the children. They're mine, so that'll be different.
So there is context under which it would be we need to let them know immediately situation.
I don't know if I'd check him out of school though. I don't think I would ever check him out for that. What's checking him out do?
I don't know.
Nothing. The kid, it's not gonna be any less dead or more dead if I wait till you get out at 3 o'clock. Like that'll give me some time to figure out how the fuck we gonna break this news.
I don't even remember responding.
We didn't have pets, so I ain't never had that. I think I've said this before. My dad hunted, and he had hunting dogs but they were definitely not our pets. And he would get mad if we fed them because he would hardly feed them because he felt like they would hunt better if they were hungry. So my dad was like, if we had contacted Peter, he would have got locked the fuck up. These dogs were so, and we would sneak them food because you could see these little ribs. Like we felt so bad for them, but we never viewed them as pets because we weren't allowed to like really view them as pets. Which for somebody who loved animals and wanted to like save and rescue them, I hated that he wouldn't feed them. So I would sneak them food all the time.
So your dad didn't do any research on hunting animals at all? Because they hunt because they hunt. They don't hunt because they hungry.
And if they do hunt because they hungry, I'm gonna eat it. If I catch it, why would I bring it to you? You ain't feeding me. So I mean, and look, I think I said this before, or maybe I said this when we were hanging out with government names. He like at one point got a farm. Like we had chickens, we had cows, we had guineas. Have you ever seen a guinea?
Guinea.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
It's a bird. It's like a, I don't know. You just have to look it up. It's called a guinea. It's a bird. It's not.
It's spelled like guinea pig.
Yeah, but just a guinea. He had some guineas. He had pigs and he had chickens. Now my dad, because he wasn't feeding these dogs. At some point, the dogs, I guess, got together and was like, fuck this nigga, we want chicken. So slowly the chicken population started declining. And he got mad, but it's like, you're not feeding them. They like black and white. You looking up guineas? Mm-hmm. They got like black and white feathers. I don't know if that's their like official name, but that's what he called them, guineas. Yep, guineas. He had a bunch of them running around, and they make this weird ass noise. Oh, and the dogs would chase them too. So they were eating the guineas, but they like the chicken. I guess the chicken tastes better than the guineas, but they were killing the shit out of his chickens. And I'm like, if you would just fucking feed the dogs, like, they're hungry. That's why they're killing the chickens. Like, feed them.
I remember I peed on myself in kindergarten in the library. Miss Tate was the librarian. You know what? In the library, we had Apple computers. But them old ass beginning, like where they had just the green...
Yeah.
Just the green words on it. Damn, that shit was so old.
Oh, I remember. Oh, it wasn't kindergarten. You remember Oregon Trail? Did you ever play Oregon Trail at school?
Yeah.
We thought that shit was so great. And it was like the most horrible. Like, if you were able to like find Oregon Trail now and look at it and compare it to the games now, it was shit. But
well, you know, them 2D platformers is coming back.
Yeah. I used to love
Trail
Oregon
was just
Trail.
hard as fuck.
Hard
as fuck to survive.
It was. Because, like, you'd be doing good, and then they would toss some shit in there, like, there was a flood. Like, really? Now, or, like, somebody would get sick, so now you got to try to get medicine, or your kid's going to die. Or, it was just, it was too much. But I used to like playing Oregon Trail because that means we weren't going to do actual work if we were playing Oregon Trail.
I used to like Clifford the Big Red Dog. That was, for some reason, what I used to like when I was in... I'm blurring kindergarten between kindergarten and elementary, so I'm just going to generalize it to my elementary experience.
This is the song that does it.
Lamb Chop.
Yes, it goes on and on, my friend. Some people started singing it, not knowing what it was, and they'll continue singing it forever just because this is the song that does it.
Is that connected to elementary school for you?
It is. I love fucking Lamb Chops. Lamb Chop, Charlie Horse, Hush Puppy.
I'm sorry.
What?
You just said I like fucking lamb chops.
I hate you so much. Obviously, that's not what I meant.
I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
What is he laughing about? Lamb Chops was my shit, man. I watched that shit. I've seen every episode of Lamb Chops and what is it? I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a
Schoolhouse
bill.
Rock.
Schoolhouse Rocks. I used to love Schoolhouse Rocks. I used to love gummy bears. Oh, my mom would buy me gummy bears and I would eat gummy bears while I watched the show. So I would have like gummy bears.
Really?
And eat them while I watched gummy bears.
Your story is way better than mine.
Gummy bears bouncing here and there and everywhere.
But this was before school though, because I used to watch Pee Wee Herman.
I never watched Pee Wee. I've never seen a Pee Wee Herman episode. Like, I know who he is just because of pop culture references, but, like, I've never watched it.
Good.
We never watched
I watched that shit one day as an adult. I said, what the fuck is this? Why was my daddy let me watch this shit? Because I would wake him up every damn morning. You know, before he got locked up.
Yeah.
I wake him up every Saturday morning to watch Pee Wee Herman. I grew up and seen that shit, and I was like, I see why I didn't put this shit out of my head, because I don't remember shit.
I never watched it. I didn't like Care Bear. Care Bear's there. It just was.
I don't remember no other cartoons I watched in elementary school. I can't remember watching cartoons until like the 5th grade.
Gummy Bears.
I'm not even convinced we had a TV.
The Smurfs.
I don't even
Gummy
know what I
Bears,
watched.
Smurfs. Lamb Chop wasn't really like a cartoon, but Sesame Street. Can you tell me how to get?
I don't remember watching none of that shit.
Street. Really?
Not during elementary school.
Oh,
well, I know I don't think we had a TV.
We did, but it was
late in
like
my elementary game.
the reason why so many of these were like PBS shows is because we didn't have like cable, satellite, none of them shits. So we could only watch like the local, like the channels that you can get with the antennas, the rabbit ears. So like, you know, all of those shows came on PBS. PBS was my shit. Oh God, the man that, what was his name that did the paintings? I'm gonna put this bush.
Bill
Just put a little
something.
bush over there. I watched him.
With a fro.
Yep, the white man with the afro. I watched Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
A beautiful day to be neighbors. Would you be mine? Could you be mine?
I
Yeah.
don't know. Depending on what you're doing on your spare time, Mr. Rogers. I could be if you a normal motherfucker. You too nice.
Shit, Reading Rainbow, nigga. Yes, watch Reading Rainbow. Like, I think that my love for reading, and I read even now, it started even before I went to kindergarten. Because it shows like Reading Rainbow. Like, I honestly, I used to want my mom to like, I want this book that he's talking about on Reading Rainbow. Like, I just thought it was so cool.
I didn't read.
I read so much. I read the Babysitter Club books when I got like 5th, 6th grade. I read Goosebumps. I used to love Goosebumps books.
Well, look, I did read. I read up to 6th grade. And after that, I stopped reading unless I had to. Because I got shamed by a librarian. And I didn't even want to go check out books from the library after that.
How did she shame you?
Because the books that I used to love were Judy Blume,
Okay.
Ronald Dahl, Fudge, Super Fudge, them books. And I read them pretty much up to 6th grade. And when I went to the 7th grade, I asked the librarian if they had any Ronald Dahl or Judy Blume. And she said, "Oh, heavens no, those books are for kids. You shouldn't be wanting to read those books." And I
she
was
was
like,
a bitch.
I'm like, bitch, I just want to see what happened in the next Super Fudge. How dare you? Wasn't no Amazon and nothing like that.
Yeah.
Like, and we grew up in a small town, so it like, you wasn't going to just walk into Walmart and see that shit up there.
Oh,
like,
no, yeah, library.
it wasn't
You had
that,
to go to the library.
yeah, things wasn't that prevalent. So that kind of fucked me up with libraries. You know. But,
She was a bitch for that.
yeah.
Alexander, the terrible, awful, no good, very bad day. They made that into a movie recently, but I remember reading the book. Paddington, Bear, Georgia Martha, the hippo. I read so fucking much as a kid. I still read now. But I used to, well, you got to understand, like, that was I had a very chaotic household. So reading was my way of concentrating on something else. So I read a lot. I read, like, I even, like, have bought I have a collection of children's books that if I ever have kids, I would like to read to them because they were books that I enjoyed so much. So whenever I see books out, like I have a bunch of Shel Silverstein poetry books because they were awesome. Where the Sidewalk Ends, The Light in the Attic, and I have Georgia Martha books. I have Alexander and the Terrible, No Good, Awful, Very Bad. Like, I have a collection of books that and now if I don't ever have kids, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do with these books.
I remember reading Encyclopedia Brown.
Yeah.
Because it was short and anecdotal, like the whole book had like a lot of different stories in it that were crimes that you could figure out.
Did you read the Choose Your Own Adventure books?
Yeah, not the Goosebump was no shit like
No,
that.
no, they just had like they
They
would
were
just
like
choose
white.
their own
They were
adventure.
normal ass, but they were white books, and they had like a picture on the front. I remember those. But most of them took place like out of space and shit. Like, or a lot of them took place out of space.
I would like hold my finger and like make one choice, and if I didn't like the outcome, I would be like, no,
That's
I'm
the
gonna
same
do
shit I
this.
do in video games. If it's a game I can save before I do some dumb shit, like Fallout, I will save. I said, what happened if I blow his head off? Save, shotgun, brah! And then that was a bad idea. Like, let me reload my game type situation. But
That's how I read Choose Your Own Adventure books.
so, have you ever heard of Chapter? I don't know what they might have called it at your school. Chapter was like pre-special ed. I was in Chapter.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, Chapter was like, nigga, you on the cusp of having to go on the short bus.
That is so ridiculous considering who you are now.
That's why I talk to parents and families about children coming into their intelligence. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't start off with that shit. It's like a light bulb go over your head, but it be for life. Not like you know, when you get an aha moment when it comes to like an ideal or I'm looking for my keys. Aha, I know where they at. Like, I feel like that happened with me for life. I was like, oh shit, I get it. I get all this shit. Now it's time to be logical.
That was my being smart was always like my identity. That was like the only identity that I had for most of elementary and high school. So like I was in first grade and I would get to go to the second grade class because I was reading on the second grade level. So like my reading time was spent with the second grade class, and I was in the gifted program when I was in elementary. We went on like trips, like the first. And have I been as an adult? No, the first and only time I've ever been in a World of Coke was because of being in Gifted. We went to World of Coke. We toured the CNN studio. We did something else in Georgia. But, like, so I would get out of class and go, like, Gifted was a joke. Like, you had to test to get in there. But, like, once you got in there, we didn't really do shit that was, like, work related. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so they did a really good job masking what Chapter was, because for some reason I thought I was superior. Like, I thought I got to leave class because y'all motherfucking can write and I get to go play on the computer. Just didn't realize that these computer games were targeted at skills that's supposed to help me do the shit the other kids was doing, which was write better. You know, I don't remember what my particular issue was where I was in Chapter.
I wonder if we had that. I don't know.
But I just think it was pre-special ed, and I never went to special. Like, I did Chapter for like 1 year, and that was it. But we went to this room, and we played games on the computer, and after that, we got to choose candy out the treasure box. And I'm going back to class with candy, and all these motherfuckers are like, "Where the fuck you been? What you been doing?" And I'm like, "Shut up, peasants. You don't get these rewards. I'm fantastic."
That is fucking hilarious.
What else happened? Another thing that happened in elementary school is we had a music teacher. Her name was Miss Vincent, I think.
We had a Miss Vincent. I forgot. She wasn't music, though.
And so we had a couple of times a year where we performed the songs. And she chose Dixie. I wish I was in Dixie, hooray, hooray. In Dixieland, I'll take my stand to live and die in Dixie. That was a song written by a white man from the perspective of slaves. Slaves were supposed to be happy with being in Dixie. And we were kids. We didn't know shit about that. But like when some kids started going home to tell their parents what the fuck was up, black kids all of a sudden started not being a part of it. I didn't know. My mama was not in the least involved in school related shit. I went home and said, "Mama, we sang in Dixie." She was like, "Okay, we going to church." You know what I'm saying? And so at a certain point, my lone black ass was up there with all the white kids while all the black kids were sitting out. So she sat me out too. Like, at a certain point, she set me out too.
You didn't understand why.
No, I didn't know why. And I don't think a lot of the kids knew why. You know, but I just think the parents was like, and you know what? It made me think, how egotistical is this music teacher to just not change the song?
She said, we still doing this shit. Y'all can just sit the fuck
But it's
down.
the same shit that's going on today.
Yeah.
But black folks can be mad all they motherfucking want. We ain't changing shit. You know, so I remember that shit. But like a lot of this stuff is in afterthought. Like because I think of shit I did when I was in elementary school and be like, I understand why I was in chapter. Because one time I had on a sweater and I pulled my arms out and I put them across in the different sides, you know, to where I had my right arm in my left sleeve and my left arm right sleeve. I think the way that the sweater was made, it had so much like stretch room that it stretched all the way across me and it kind of like concealed me a little bit more. And I came to class, back to class for music, stuck the whole way. I walked down the hallway with my arms like that and I asked the teacher to help me get out. And she said, I didn't help you get into that mess. I ain't helping you getting out of that mess. Now, that's what she said, but like, it's like I play back the stuff that happened to me and I feel like it was racist. So I feel like she said, I didn't help your little black ass get into that mess. I ain't helping your little black ass get out of that mess.
Well, I mean, maybe you shouldn't have stuck your arms.
All I'm saying is I understand why I was in chapter. And that subsequently has turned into my dialogue about your children coming into their intelligence. You know, I think that all children have the capability of utilizing their IQ. You know, all of them don't utilize it.
This is true.
And sometimes it take a long time for them to utilize it. And sometimes you be dropped on your head when you was a baby and it throttles what your IQ would have been.
I mean, I was dropped on my
That's
head.
what I'm talking about you. I'm talking about you specifically. You supposed to be a rocket scientist. Veterinary all-star star.
Got dropped on my head.
Got dropped on your head and started killing worms.
I was saving them in my mind.
Listen, it don't matter what in your mind you doing. The reality of it is,
I murdered many a worm. I did.
yes.
And some other creatures. But a white boy cut my pigtail.
Is this one of them? Or did
Yeah.
you just have one?
No, I had 2 pigtails, but he thought it would be funny on the school bus to cut one of my pigtails. Now, I'm the 3rd child, so that means I have 2 older brothers who beat his ass for cutting
Really?
my pigtail. So, of course, they got into trouble. And when my mom saw my hair and heard what happened, they got in trouble as far as, like, the school was concerned. My mom didn't punish them. My mom's whole thing was, what y'all thought they were just going to sit by while he cut her hair? Where was the bus driver when he was getting wielding scissors cutting her hair? And, like, I had like, pretty long hair. So these were like pretty, and he didn't cut it all the way, but he cut it enough where it was like the other one was gonna have to be cut to even my hair up because it looked stupid. It was like he cut it enough where it caused like a lot of damage. And my brothers whooped his ass. And my mom was not mad. She was just like, okay, I'll take him to school.
You told me this story before, but you didn't tell me the part about your brothers whooping their ass.
Yeah.
When your brother's like 10 years older than any kid you was around?
No, Mike is 6. This was an older kid that cut my hair, one.
Oh, okay.
They were still older than him.
Oh,
but,
that's right. Y'all had a K through 12 school.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh-huh. So everybody and anybody on that street or anybody on that route rode the bus because we all were going to the same school. So yeah, he was older than me, and they were older than him, and they whooped his ass.
Oh, okay. Makes
So,
sense now.
Yeah, because it was a K through 12. So that happened.
What else went on?
I don't know if any. I used to be really good at running. Ran the mile. We used to, what was it? We had Mayday, but we also had like a fitness test thing that we had to do. And I remember I ran my mile faster than anybody else in the class. And I had so much practice because at home when Power Rangers came out, we were running the fuck around. I was the Yellow Ranger, so like we didn't do shit but run around because we lived in the country. So like me running a mile was nothing. I remember us doing that. I remember Maydays. We used to do like the what do they call it when you tie your feet together, two of your legs and run the 3-legged race.
Mm-hmm.
We used to do shit like that, and you know, we would win ribbons, first place, second place. It wasn't no everybody gets a, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you didn't place, you just didn't fucking place. So, you know, I won some ribbons and some things.
Participation trophies.
We didn't have no participation trophies. If you didn't
Participation
place,
ribbons.
if you didn't place, you didn't get shit.
Oh.
So,
So you reminded me that I couldn't watch Power Rangers when I was in the 4th grade. That's like right around when Power Rangers came out. I was in the 3rd, 4th grade. I couldn't watch it.
why?
Because my mama equated Lord Zed, which was the original villain,
Yeah.
which he was made like he didn't have skin. Like if you see the anatomy in a book where your skin is gone and you see the red muscles, you know, you see all the muscles and tendons and joints and stuff. She equated that to a demon or something, I guess. And she was like, y'all can't watch that. It's one of them situations where your mama ain't never walked in on you watching no shit. And then she walk in and be like, what y'all watching? Y'all can't watch that no more. You know, and once mama said some shit, it was law. It's like we couldn't really even debate it very well. We couldn't be like, mama, he's only in the show for about 2.5 minutes. Check out the other 18 minutes that the show goes on. You'll see that it's more about, you know, team building and, you know, overcoming adversity and heroes that are the underdogs overcoming a villain that they didn't think they can overcome. And they're school age, mom. Look, we're learning lessons. You couldn't do none of that shit. When mama came in that bitch and said, what y'all watching? Don't watch this no more. We better not get caught watching that shit.
But we watched Power Rangers. My brother loved Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball Z had all kind of creatures and shit. Oh, they cared nothing about that. And but my mom was not. She's religious, but not as religious as your mom. So like she didn't give a shit. She all she knew, we were sitting the fuck down because when Power Rangers came on, quiet, because we want to see because we were watching this as it was happening. So these were like the fresh episodes. So like every week you want to see what's going to happen to Tommy. Cause now he went from being the Green Ranger to the White Ranger. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was dead ass silence in the house. So my mom loved that. And then after that, we want to go outside and practice our ninja.
So in school, I found out that when a social event is going on early in the day, what the gym teacher end up doing is putting all of the kids in a classroom to watch some shit on TV while they watch the news or whatever's going on, and they report back to all of the teachers and shit what's going on in the news. So they put us in the room, and lo and behold, he put on Power Rangers. And this friend of mine, Chris motherfucking Lynch, who used to come over our house all the time and steal our shit, stole our Super Nintendo.
Nigga, I thought you was gonna say like some chips. He stole a
No,
whole
he
fucking
stole our
Super
Super
Nintendo.
Nintendo, yes.
What the fuck?
He is the only one it could have been.
Shit. That's
And I knew his history of thievery,
wow.
so I know
really
he had
thought
taken shit before.
You were talking small thing because
And
Super Nintendo is huge.
And look, if somebody is hearing this and they know Chris Lynch, or if you're listening, Chris Lynch, if you didn't do that shit, I'm sorry. If you did do that shit, you need to own it, and I hope you fucking feel horrible for it.
But you digress.
Also, if my cousin, my little cousin, like who is my cousin's daughter, cousins, right? Ain't that how that work?
I guess.
Anyway, that's her daddy.
Okay.
So your daddy stole my shit. But I digress. Said Mr. On Point can't watch Power Rangers. And I was like, you bitch ass nigga. Ain't nobody in here that know that shit. Ain't nobody that give a fuck. And ain't nobody finna turn this shit off because Mr. On Point can't watch the motherfucking Power Rangers, okay? I'm like, side out the shit out this nigga like, how dare you? You know, and
y'all was supposed to be friends.
the school bully His name was Anthony Murray. I'm dropping names today.
The whole first
His
and
name was
last.
Anthony Murray. They called him
Snitching.
Nucci. They called him Nucci. He took up for me.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just that kind of person. Motherfucker been taking up for me my whole life.
I did not have that look.
He was like, don't nobody care. Don't nobody care the man can't watch this show. He can watch it today. He was in the 4th grade. He was in the 4th grade, and my memory of him, he grown. Like the memory that I play back in, just because he was fucking terror. He was a terror. He was a terror in school. Like in 6th grade, he threatened me to beat me and my friend up, but we didn't give him answers on the test. And I took a stand. I said no. He's like, I'm gonna beat you up after school. And then my friend Charlie Sprayberry, dropping names. My friend Charlie Sprayberry gave him the shit out the answers. He like scooted over so the dude can see in front of him. And then I tried to slide my paper over after that because I was like, because in my head I'm finna get my ass beat after school. I ain't never been in no fight. I know he can fight because I done seen him beat up at least 3 people. I'm like, shit, I need to recover. You know, needless to say, I guess he forgot.
He probably did.
You know, because he just made threats all day long, and if he had to keep a fucking tally of all the threats he made, ain't no way in shit he'll be able to
fight all those people.
Get through all of them.
Yeah. I mean, I got bullied a lot in elementary, but mostly because of my dad. The school bully for us name was Amici Curry, since you dropping names. And first of all, like, as I look back on those times, and I think he looked like his name sound. He looked like an Amici. Like, he just looked Amici. Like, he looks like what his name sounds like. He was just a very unattractive ass little boy. And I feel like because of that, he just decided he was going to make it his business to make everybody else feel bad because he felt bad.
He probably a pastor now.
No, he's still an asshole.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a pastor can be an asshole.
No, he ain't no, I mean, he out here trapping and shit. He ain't no pastor. Like
trapping women or trapping?
And the fuck is trapping. No women finna. I'm going to show him to you after the show.
Trapping get you women, though.
I mean, he getting some hood rats, maybe, I guess. Anyhow, his dad and my dad drank together. So my mom would not allow my dad and his cronies to drink at our house. So he would have to go to other people's house. So he would be at Amici's house drinking. And Amici thought it was his business to come back to school and just say everything that my dad said at his house while he was drunk. So I had to deal with like the fallout of that. And so most of the stuff I got picked on for in school was some shit that he did or said it. So you know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't no shit. I mean, I was a nerd. I was a geeky little kid. I started wearing glasses in the 2nd grade, and they were like Coke bottles. and I loved to read, and I was smart. So, like, I wouldn't have been, like, a super popular person anyway. So, let me not act like my whole social status was fucked up because of my dad. But he didn't help it. Let me say that. So, most of the shit that I got picked on for was because of shit he said. And Amici, like, the thing was, Amici's dad was a drunk, too. But because I wasn't around, I didn't have no rebuttals. Because I don't know what the fuck his dad was saying. I wasn't there. So... oh my God, he got to fighting with Elton Ashley, since we dropping names. Because he picked on everybody. And I don't even remember, we were in 5th grade. I don't even remember what he said about Elton. But Elton, like, lost it. And he beat his ass. Now, the hilarious thing was, even though he beat Amici ass, because Elton was like a good kid and was like not used to getting in trouble, the whole time he was whooping his ass, he was crying.
Damn.
Like, you would have thought he lost the way he was crying, but he whooped his ass. Like, it was so... And this was in Miss Trust class. So, Miss Trust, we had 2 old school-ass black teachers at my school. 5th and 6th grade, you were going to definitely have Miss Trust, and in 6th grade, you were going to have Miss Swain. And when I say they old school, my oldest brother is 10 years older than me. Both of them had taught him, okay? They had been at this school for a long fucking time. And they were not the ones to fuck with. So when Amici and Elton got to fighting in her class, she like shut that shit down quick as shit. Like it was terrifying being in Miss Trust's class. Miss Trust, when we were learning our times tables, we would be like on history. We'd be doing something in history, and she would just come up to your desk, and she would just be like, stand up, and you have to stand up, and she would be like, 7 times tables now, and you just had to 7 times 1 is 7, 7 times 2 is 14. Like, you would just have to go through the fucking timetable, and you never knew when she was gonna do this shit. So you would be sitting in class the whole day like, Lord, please. And then it's like she never would give you the one that you knew. This was when we were like first learning. She would never come and give you like 2s or 5s. It's gonna be 8. It was gonna be 9. It was gonna be some shit like that. And it was like she would just 7 timetables. And you just have to start spouting them off. Miss Trust was, and Miss Swain, I witnessed her jack a student up, white boy, David Dockery. We all knew, because he was new to our school. So 6th grade was the first time he arrived, so he didn't know. We had all, from kindergarten on up, had already heard the stories of Miss Trust and Miss Swain. So we already knew when we got there, don't fuck around, because they crazy. David did not know that. So David, he just kept getting in trouble and kept getting in trouble and kept getting, to the point where she had put, I don't know if y'all had these, teachers had these little divider thing where they could put it on your desk where you couldn't see nobody. You'd be like blocked off. She put one of them shits on his desk, and he still just kept being disruptive. So one day, and I never ever did this, forgot my fucking homework. And Miss Swain, in the morning, you didn't just go in her class. You lined up outside the door, and she would check your homework. So when you came in, you have to give her your homework. And if you didn't get to go to PE that day. Never forgot my homework. Always did my homework. This day, for whatever fucking reason, left it at home. Didn't have it. So first time ever I'm having to stay. So I'm already bummed because I know I did this shit. And I don't want to have to sit in this classroom and not get to go to PE. I'm glad, though, it happened because I got to see her jack his ass up out of his chair. He said something. I don't even remember what it was. But she jacked him up out of his seat and was like, you set your little line ass. Like, it was crazy. It was for somebody in the 6th grade. What are you, like 12? For a 12-year-old, I was like, oh shit. Oh my God, she's gonna kill him. Like, Lord.
So, no PE time was when she motherfucking got it in with them kids, huh?
I guess so.
She turned into a goddamn.
Well, no, I won't even say, because she would check you in class.
I'm just saying, if that's what she would do in class, imagine what she doing. Ain't nobody looking, and your ass is in here from PE because of bullshit that you've been doing.
Yeah.
But
did y'all do weekly readers? That's what it was. He didn't finish his somebody's weekly reader, because she slammed her hand down on his desk on top of his weekly reader so hard that it somehow ripped the weekly reader. Like, it was just a crazy fucking situation.
I was a magician out here, huh?
She
was trying to hide her powers. She was like, bow, and then the paper ripped. She was like, oh shit, motherfucking, fucking powers are coming out of this motherfucker. I need to chill.
That I love this. I learned the most, I will say, out of their class, because you had to. It wasn't oh God, Micah Garrett. Since we dropping names, and then this gonna be my last story. We had to read out loud. You know what I'm saying? Like, we would have to read out loud and go in order. And Micah Garrett could not read. And so you would hate to be after him because you sitting there waiting for your turn. He just taking his sweet, like, and it was because he couldn't read. Like, he just really never grasped the concept. He could not read very well. And so what took everybody else, like, quick, you do your paragraph and the next person go. He took forever. Everybody hated having to be after this nigga because you just wanted to go ahead and read your paragraph. And you couldn't. You couldn't because he read so slow. And she would get frustrated sometimes and just be like, Red, you go ahead and finish it. which was embarrassing for him, I'm sure.
Of course it was. I could read good as hell. Like, people would compliment me on my reading. I could read good as fuck, but I wasn't comprehending shit I was saying. Like, I knew how to say it in a way that, you know, the exclamations and, you know, the pauses appropriately through the commas. Like, I could read real well. Like, people were following the story when I was reading. I just didn't know what the fuck I read after I read it.
Well, he couldn't read or comprehend.
Maybe he could comprehend. How you know he couldn't comprehend?
I mean, maybe he could.
I mean, I always think people that read slow as shit got the best handle on comprehending. They just don't get through.
Because I think he wasn't paying attention to what he was just trying to get through the sentence or get through the paragraph. So he ain't really comprehending. He would finish one word and move on to the next word, just trying to get through it. Like, I don't think he was putting together what he was reading. Like, it was crazy. It was real crazy.
Yeah.
That was a long ass lighthearted question.
Yep.
Do we have time for the heavy question?
Nope.
Okay.
We don't.
We just
That
talked.
took us 50 minutes.
Y'all learned a whole lot about our elementary experience.
Yeah.
Stuff you never wanted to know, probably.
Yeah, it was weird. Our elementary principal
What?
Our elementary principal eventually went to. Well, he got arrested for either child porn or child kidnapping or something related to some kids at the school.
I got arrested.
Mr. Island.
Got arrested for drugs.
Drugs.
And my kindergarten teacher's name was Miss Moe. Her husband was the principal, Mr. Moe. And Mr. Moe, and you know what? Like, when I got old enough to recognize what drug use looked like, he looked strung out, like red eyes, like, and he was a white man. He just looked like he was on drugs. He eventually got caught up and we got a new principal. So he got arrested as well, but his was for drug charges. It wasn't for kidnapping. It's crazy.
Well, I mean, I would fucking keep going for an hour on shit that went on when I was in motherfucking elementary school, so we might as well.
If y'all have any funny stories, comment them. I want to hear them so that we don't feel. Because did we have any? We had positive stories.
Did we?
Ants on a log.
It wasn't necessarily positive. That was.
It
neutral.
was better. I mean, it wasn't.
That was neutral.
It wasn't peeing on yourself. That's a negative.
You're right. I did piss on myself. And the librarian called my grandmama. She bought me some new pants, and it was a brand new day. Even though it was the same day.
If y'all have some funny stories from y'all's elementary days, just leave them down below.
I'm trying to think of something fucking positive. I won a spelling bee in the 4th grade. I won second place in the spelling bee in the 4th grade.
I went to the city. I won one part of it and went on to the next step, and then I got like second place in the next step, so I didn't get to do the state competition. But
I got to go with them though. Like, I went to go with them to the competition because I had won 7th place. Second place, I didn't get to compete, but they took me.
I remember studying that little
Me and the other boy had the
book.
same first and middle name. It was weird.
I remember studying that little fuck ass book, trying to remember how to spell all them stupid ass words.
I ain't study shit.
I
Either you got it
did.
or you don't.
I did because after I won the first step, I was like, I want to go to the state championship. And
Imagine what the odds are of them asking you words you actually
I
studied
know,
for.
yeah. But as a kid, I didn't know that. I was just like, let me study really hard so that I got second place, but I didn't get to go to the state. So they didn't even let me ride with the person. I don't even remember who won. Because it was out of the county, I think. I think I made it to like the county little group of, I don't know. My mom probably still got that, because she keep everything. I'm sure she still got that. I got a plaque for getting second place. So yeah, I think that's it.
All right. Until we come to the next conversation.
We out.
Holla.